But the not knowing means the fear is always there. What if I was with my child? How would I protect her? And how do I not be afraid of that every day? Hey my treasures, it's Sirena and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if you're wondering, yes, I am totally wearing pajamas in this video. I'm wearing, for those of you that can't see, I am wearing a black nightshirt with the red Deadpool logo on it. I did not realize Deadpool was actually a superhero until today. This was a present. I didn't actually pick it out, but I have to say black and red, two of my favorite colors, so I'll take it. And I've got a pair of comfortable lounge pants on, which you guys can't see, because it's later over here than I normally film my videos, and I figured I would just be comfortable. I also want to apologize if the microphone sounds a bit off in this video. I realized that it was rubbing against my clothing a lot in the past couple of videos, and it was just making the sound quality not as good as it was in my first couple of videos. So I kind of found a way to attach it, sort of, to my my tripod. So I'm not sure if that's going to work, but I figured we would try it for this video. Today I'll be talking about 5 things that genuinely frighten me due to my blindness. I don't believe all of these things are innately blindness specific, though being blind in my case augments the fear of them. They're not all deep fears. Some of them are actually quite silly by most standards, but you know, they are mine and they are real to me. So, in no particular order, here they are. 1. The grab and drag. I think most blind people are familiar with this move. Well-meaning sighties tend to use it a lot. So the grab and drag is exactly what it sounds like. In an attempt to assist us in navigating, a lot of the time in areas that are actually quite familiar to us, sighted individuals will seize us by the arm or by the shoulder and begin dragging us in whatever direction they believe we want to go in. For many blind and visually impaired individuals, this is a mere irritation. For me, and I'm sure parts of my past contribute to this, it's terrifying. I don't like to be touched by strangers. I don't even like to be touched by some people I know, but it's especially disconcerting when it comes out of nowhere. If you wouldn't do it to another sighted person, don't do it to us. The next time it happens to me, I swear I'm so tempted to just begin shrieking, "Kidnap!" I mean, I probably won't, but it's insanely tempting sometimes. 2. Poo. Yeah, you heard me right. Poo. Okay, so I do not know why this is a problem for me, but ever since I was a young child, the prospect of stepping in something like dog poo and being surprised by it due to not being able to see it, to avoid it, it's kind of scared me. I wish I could tell you why, because even my best friend laughs at me over this. Like, I've gotten so teased because she just finds it completely ridiculous, I think. She hasn't said that, but it is quite ridiculous. I think it has something to do with the unpleasant surprise of it. I'm very sensitive to strong odors and textures, and at the risk of making this number even more disgusting than it already is, a poo surprise contains both. And when you don't see your foot heading in that direction and it winds up there, for me, it just causes enough distress and disgust that it can be a little overwhelming. Now, I have had a guide dog. I can pick it up just fine, but when it comes unexpectedly inside or when I'm walking down a sidewalk taking my daughter to school, yes, this has happened. Ew. It's just upsetting. Guys, I never said I'd be normal. I only ever promised I'd be truthful. 3. Flies and rodents. I am lumping these two together because they're both pests and they're both just disgusting. The buzzing of flies drives me crazy. Knowing they live in dead things and all that other stuff probably doesn't help either, but what bothers me most is that they're almost impossible to swat when you cannot see them. Not impossible, just almost impossible. It can take me an hour just to get one in my zapper, and that was when my zapper was working, which it's not right now. And it's just impossible to try to fly. Wow, it's impossible to try to fly them because apparently this topic renders me so frightened I can't talk. It's impossible to try and swat them with like a normal fly swatter or a shoe. It's just, they're so fast. Just being unable to swat a pestering fly, and thank God I've not actually experienced this, but knowing where a filthy rodent might be hiding or leaving its mark, all of that scares me on some weird fundamental level. As a blind individual, I like being in control of my environment. I'm not going to pretend I'm the most organized person in the world, but that is a thing I can control. When things invade my space and I can't see to get them out, it just makes me feel helpless. This probably represents some deep-seated need for utter control when it comes to my environment or something, and so perhaps it's invasion I truly fear. Flies don't bother me when I'm outside after all. I mean, that's their home, but I don't know. There's probably some deep psychological thing going on there, but hey, flies, rats, mice, pests, not possible for me to see, thus more frightening to me for their ability to elude. 4. Public violence, like a shooting or a bombing, any kind of violence really, but let's just go with the public violence that I've just mentioned. I think this would scare anyone, but knowing my blindness would render me extra vulnerable if it came to running for my life among a crowd of panicking people, or God forbid, trying to dodge or avoid bullets. It takes that entire prospect from terrifying to downright petrifying. I know blind individuals aren't innately limited. I know it's stigma more than truth that presents us with many of the battles we're forced to wage. But in a situation like those I've mentioned above, blindness isn't an asset. It's a vulnerability that could get me killed. Knowing I would be helpless due to something beyond my control, it is a debilitating fear I have to conquer every time I choose to take a step out my front door into a public place. Because you never know what could happen. You never know when it could happen. You never know where it could happen. I hope it never happens, but the not knowing means the fear is always there. The vulnerability is always there. I mean, what if I was with my child? How would I protect her? And how do I not be afraid of that every day? Last, but certainly not least, 5. Crossing busy streets with a cane. this point is not meant to be won against canes. As a cane user, I cross busy streets every single day. And in my neighborhood, audible traffic signals are rather prominent, which is honestly just one of the many reasons why I absolutely love it here so much. But being a proficient cane traveler doesn't for me eradicate the anxiety and yes, the downright fear that crossing some busy roads elicits. Sometimes the sun is in my eyes and I veer and lose my way. It's not something I like admitting, but like I said, truthfulness. It happens. It just happens because sometimes I have to travel earlier morning or when the sun is, just rising, or when it's just setting, and at those times it's at a level that is really, really visually inconvenient depending on what direction you're walking in. Sometimes drivers completely ignore traffic lights and rules and laws, and they'll whiz right by me when I'm halfway across the road. Sometimes they honk, which will be an entire video in and of itself because I could go on about that for like hours. As you know, if you are blind or visually impaired, when someone's honking at you, you can't usually tell why. Some do it to say, go ahead, you can go. We've been trained, I've been trained at least, to interpret it as stop, don't take another step, just stop, danger is lurking. So when horns start honking while I'm halfway across a busy road, I never know what it means or how I'm supposed to respond or interpret it. The not knowing if I should keep moving or freeze in my tracks in the middle of an 8-lane road with parallel traffic rushing by. Yeah, just close your eyes and picture that. It's petrifying. I'll never stop traveling due to it. But when you only have a cane to rely on, crossing roads is just an extra method of earning gray hair. Just look at mine. Seriously, just look at this. Look at this gray hair. I'm telling you, parenting, this is parenting. Parenting and street crossings. Parenting and street crossings are what give me gray hair. I can't tell you which gives me more. I guess it depends on the day. But that is it for this video. I know it's kind of a short one, my treasures, but this just came into my head and I was just like, I have to talk about it because it's fun and it's true. And some of these fears are silly and some of them are real. And they're all real, but some of them are silly and some of them are more, they're deeper. But they are fears that I do face every day, the deeper ones anyway. I don't walk out the door wondering if I'm going to step in poo that day. It's really not that big a deal. But if you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon with another video. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye!